They be like, man, like motherfuckers be thinking I'm cause I don't know what they thought me and you was gonna come in and do. Like
they probably thought I was gonna come in and do some wild stuff, but
no. Come in and do like
they probably thought I was gonna come in and do some wild stuff, but
come in and do like
they probably thought I was gonna come in and do some wild stuff, but
come in and do like
they probably thought I was gonna come in and do some wild stuff, but
come in and do like
they probably thought I was gonna come in and do some wild stuff, but
come in and do like
they probably thought I was gonna come in and do some wild stuff, but
Tuesday night. Trey Williams, baby. They let them. With my main man mix. Ha! Another Tuesday night mix.
evening, good evening, good evening. Kings, queens, peasants, and in-betweens. It is your girl, Kapri Monique, the voice of the people, and we are live right back here on the Love Network. Thank you guys for stepping on into No Great Area. I'm so excited to see y'all. I did not get to see y'all last week. It was so much going on for me. Definitely missed y'all. Shout out to everybody that reached out to me, inquired about the show. I had some things going on. I'll discuss with y'all later when I talk to y'all about my journey a little bit more. But I had to step away. It's been busy for me though, guys. I'm so excited. This weekend in Go-Go. For me, Friday was an off day. I chilled Friday. Shout out to everybody that had shows on Friday. Saturday was a day of private gigs for me. Private day party, private evening gig. Shout out to my DJ Zay. We did a double on Saturday, which was amazing, even in the heat. The crank was real. The hosting was real. We networked, had a great time. And then Sunday, I had the opportunity to see the All-Star Blend Band and What Band on one card together. Dope. I'm going to say this live on camera. And the views expressed by me, y'all know they mine. I'm not, no disclaimer today. But I believe that is the best collection of members in All-Star Blend that Barry has had. It is the most uniform sound that I've heard. It actually felt like they were feeding off of each other. However, your Bali player, I can tell he's not confident from the way he was looking around and paying attention to everything and trying to make sure he was doing the right thing. So even with him transitioning in, like, build his confidence a little bit more. But I'll tell you what, the crank was amazing. Shout out to All-Star Blend Band. I'm so proud of where you guys are now versus where you guys were when I first really got all the way in. Nice work, Barry Tyler and the mob. Bam, Chiche Munge himself. Definitely. Shout out to Margie. Shout out to Sid. Definitely a good show. And then yesterday, guys, listen. RNS Project on Mondays is now accompanied not only by my hosting, but my DJ Zay. Check my page for the flyer. I'm not going into it. Y'all want to advertise, y'all need to send an email over to fulfillmentteam@crankrock.com if you want to advertise. That's just what it is. I'll tell y'all where I was and who I saw, but I'm not going any further than that, respectfully. And in studio today is the man, the myth, the legend. I don't know what to call him. It's crazy because, when I called you, remember I said, I don't know if I should address you. No, I called and I was like, hello, is this the fifth letter? And he was stuck. Huh?
Yeah, you definitely. It had bill collector vibes written all over it.
But they wouldn't call you the fifth letter.
Yeah, they would.
Nah.
Yeah,
they might call you Bootsy Vegas.
They'll call me E. I've had people do that.
That's kind of disrespectful.
Yeah, because you just never know where they know you from or
right, but that's not a comfort level. Let's get the business together. Talk to me like it's about the business. So we have him in here, and I had to give him a little bit of an introduction to the No Great Area, guys. And he was like, people are hitting me up you really gonna be on there? Yes. This is the place for truth, transparency, and light. And you said nothing was off limits.
Yeah, and before we start, I love this radio, this thing, I know you, but wow, you got Candy Shannon vibes here.
Let's go. Let's go. Man, Let's build something.
Man, I love it.
Welcome to the Love Network.
Mm-hmm.
So,
love talking slow jams mixed with some crank.
They better not give it to me because I tried it out.
Plus you got beat. You got that face. You looking like a screensaver over here.
Gotta get myself together. Can't come on the camera looking crazy for the people. They waiting for that. I ain't got that for y'all. Not today. So, I don't know where to start with you. I do know where to start. So,
first of all, thank you for having me.
Always.
Because I don't get these invites a lot. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to get into that too.
No, I'm just saying, I don't know if people maybe think I'm not approachable. I don't know.
And that's what I said. We're going to get into it.
Okay, good.
Be transparent. So, you do something amazing for our youth and for the community.
Besides looking good with this vegan
good,
drip.
Feeling good and
with
teaching
this vegan drip.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you do something that a lot of people don't understand. when it comes to our youth and in education, like the recreation of yourself, of the way you deliver content. So can you explain to the people who may not know who you are? Not the fifth letter, not Bootsy Vegas, but
Salih.
Yeah,
because that's what's on it. So I created in 2015. I decided that I wanted to create a youth broadcast journalism program that could help create the next wave of African American journalists from our area.
And we need it.
So because I just felt like that it was a need. I felt like when I was on Donnie, when I got in there, when I started getting in these journalistic rooms, and I could just be honest about this. I'm really cool with a few people in media that everybody do not know that I'm really cool with.
Right.
So I'm really cool with Tracy Wilkins.
Okay.
From News 4, who is from PG County.
Yes, she is.
We're cool, and probably somebody who is probably. We are not blood, but people are really surprised that me and this female journalist is.
Is it my favorite?
I don't know who's your favorite.
Allison Seymour from
Allison and Seymour, DC's Uptown Zone.
I love her.
Me and Allison are very, deeply close. Like, her kids call, one of her daughters call me Uncle Bootsy. Like, we're close like that. So I decided to create this youth broadcast journalism program, and what I wanted to do was two things. I started noticing that I felt a lot of issues with a lot of young people in DC public schools was they had a problem articulating and speaking in public. So it was going to be a public speaking journalistic program that was going to eventually get you to college. So a lot of people did not know all these resources. So funny thing was I had pitched it to the first director. His name was Keith Anderson. I pitched it to his team at DPR, and they was like, I told them I'm going to create this program. I'm going to send kids to college. Right. I'm going to have these massive professionals coming in, and they was like, yeah, you're gonna send them to college? Yeah. You can do it for the summer, but then go. The new director came in, Delano Hunter. So I did it for 2 summers. And it was successful, but in their mind, I guess, it
wasn't successful
enough.
Because,
the thing about youth programming and just in general, it varies. Unfortunately, a lot of these youth programs or people's approach on how they're going to create a program for youth, it is subjective. And what you may think is good, I may not think is good.
Exactly.
The new director came in, Delano Hunter, said it was the best idea. He thought it was really creative. He said he had already been watching it. He said, let's do it for the summer, because he started in that summer. Okay. It was summer 2019.
Right before COVID.
Yeah. So it was that summer. I did it. He decided to make it all year round. Hire me. He said, we want to do it. Since I have now created this program, I've now sent 31 kids to college as mass communications major.
Shut your mouth.
100%. 31. This year I have 7 students. 6 of my students have full ride scholarships. So I have a kid that's going from Eastern High School that's going to Columbia on a 4-year ride. I have a student from Anacostia that's going to Lafayette on a 4-year ride. I have a student from Wilson that's going to NYU. I have another student going to American University. And I have 2 students. I have a partnership with Virginia Union where any one of my students can go for $4,500 the whole year. And here's the thing.
That is so amazing.
If you do not have the money, one of my successful that me and Montu know, one of our successful radio homies, somehow the bill gets paid. Which is a blessing in itself. Yeah. So the other thing is, I am the only program in America. There are 3 programs in the whole 50 states of United States of America. My program is the only urban program that is partnered with Congress. I have a direct partnership with Congress called the Congressional Award, which is the only youth congressional program in America. They turn down everybody. What that says is the fact that every one of my students that come to my program and does 100 hours of volunteer hours and then work with me for the winter, they get this thing called a Congressional Medal of Freedom.
That is amazing.
Which is the highest civilian medal you can get, honor in America.
Which is amazing.
No urban, African American, poor, east of the river kids have access to any of that. Since that has happened, I've had 100% into college. This year, for the first time ever, everybody got a scholarship. I got one more, and we are working on her. And I may have to come back and tell you this because some of my friends are going to pay for her to go to college. She's actually...
Don't come in here and make me cry. Because, you know, I get emotional.
You ready for this?
I'm ready.
So this student is the SGA president of Duke Ellington. She's been with me for 4 years. Since she's been in my program, her mom passed away, her grandfather passed away, and her brother passed away. And certain people in DPR thought it was a joke about me getting her to college. You know, we had some, you know, and all that. And when what I had lined up with a partnership, they decided not to happen. I just went and got outside, you know what I mean? And she is going to college.
You know, whatever God has ordained, no one can stop.
She is going to college on a 4-year scholarship. And I'm going to give a supreme shout out to Allison Seymour and Paxton Baker, who is the minority owner of the Washington Nationals, who is the board chairman of the Congressional Award, who's the former vice president of BET and MTV. He's who helped me get partner. He is the board. So yeah, so all 7 of my students. Now let me give you this little declaration because I know we got to keep moving. No student, mind you, I would say 78%. I would say 80% are all from east of the river.
Right.
They're not from Wisconsin Avenue and all that.
And above.
And which is the issue because I once had somebody that worked in the government told me that if I ever really wanted the real support, maybe I should diversify the demographic that I'm serving in that. And I told them, well, that'll never happen. So 80% of my kids are from the east of the river. And the other amazing thing is, out of the 31, it's about to be 37, I would say 21 are the first time people ever to go to college in their family.
So you were able to break generational curses.
100%.
Give them hope, but no one else wanted to give it to them.
100%.
And you put them in a situation of financial freedom because going in with a scholarship, you don't have to worry about
100%.
student loan debt.
Oh, one more thing I forgot to say. So I now have this year, I have 5 students who will be interning. 3 will be at WHUR, 1 Channel 4, 1 Channel 9. I'm also on my real mission to make sure that I am getting DC natives in these journalistic environments.
Hallelujah.
To doors that are traditionally closed. For them. You know what I mean? Which is, you know, some of the real issues that I think, you know, everybody ain't happy about the success about that. So yeah, but yeah, Deanwood Radio Broadcast Program, please go to my, please go to my, page to see what it is. I'm sending the link because everybody's hitting me up right now. But yeah, Deanwood Radio Broadcast, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. So, while giving back to the youth, when you thought this program up, did you envision on it being like where it is now, like 37 soon to be?
Okay, so my mission is not to make you cry. So the second year I did it, I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. So basically, for 2 summers in a row, I had to go to George Washington Hospital Lombardi Center, meet them there at 5:30, do chemo, get a white cell shot at 8 o'clock, be there by 10. My last chemo session that I had a dream about this being really big. My mother and father actually came to me, they came to me in a dream about this. So I kind of knew this was going to be big, but a lot of this stuff is really beyond me because, yeah, I may be the person, I think at this point I'm the person God is using because you can't predict. I give a perfect example. I had Larry Miller, Michael Jordan CEO, did a Q&A last week. He's coming back. I had BET's vice president. I don't know if I could say, yeah, I knew they were going to come. And I can't say I knew that they were going to like it. But somehow people are really connecting with the premise of creating young black journalists. So, you know what I mean? At some point I did, but I do think it is now a little bit beyond me. Like, because when you can make a phone call and get somebody a scholarship, that, you know what I mean, as bad of a man as I think I am, I think that's a little bit beyond me.
Well, I want you to start using words like catalyst because that's what God is using you for, to be the catalyst.
Who knew I was going to be prophesizing? Come on, man.
You have to understand that God puts you in positions
100%.
for reasons.
Yeah.
And we may not understand or know the reason, but staying steadfast in whatever it is you're doing, especially with our youth.
Absolutely.
Because, I'm an educator as well.
Absolutely.
So, like, a lot of people tell you what needs to be done, but what they don't understand is these kids are dealing with things that we didn't deal with as kids.
Absolutely.
We were sheltered from it. It wasn't in our face. It wasn't.
We didn't have the internet. We didn't have access to all these destructive things.
I was say, like, even on TV. Let's talk about the censorship on TV when we were younger versus now.
Yeah, because we only had 6 channels growing up, right?
And then you had the cable where you flipped
Right.
it over with your finger.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, but now it's a point where everything is thrown at them and we expect them to make responsible decisions.
100%.
But we've never told them or taught them how to deal with their emotions.
Yeah, and then the other thing is, I don't know if people understand what their issues is.
Right.
So I'm going to tell you a part of my program that I had been telling people, and everybody thought I was crazy. So what happened was I went to my boss, and shout out to Lou Hall, because Lou Hall is the person who supported me with this program. I said, Lou, I think I figured out what a lot of the issues is with high school kids. The counselors in schools are not preparing them to go to college.
Facts.
There is a gap or a misunderstanding of what the process is to enroll in colleges, where to get these grants, where to get DC CAP, DC TAG. Like I'm explaining them, and I said we should hire somebody that can help 12th graders go along and do the process, because mind you, this is DC. So when we were growing up, you could high school and go right to the government and have a great life.
Have a great job.
Yeah, great job. But everything. So I was explaining to them this educational component.
Yes.
The thing about the Congressional Award, what they did was they hired somebody to handle that. So I have an educational in-route component, and you would be surprised that when you put options in front of these teens, how many people would just take the option. Like my thing is this. I tell them this. You can go to college for free. You don't worry about the money. You can go to UDC for $6,800, and I'll get somebody to pay for it.
Yes.
And if you like it, then you can go to Virginia Union. You know what I mean? But I just think the fact that I laid out options for them, I had a real end game and a route. And I don't know if a lot of these youth programs have an end game for them.
No, they just deal with them while they're there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing is, as far as the financial aid and filling out the applications.
Right.
Respectfully, if this is the first generation that anybody in this family is going to college, the parents may not have the educational capacity or know-how to assist them properly.
Absolutely.
So it's a lost situation.
Also, when they start seeing the registration fees.
Yes.
I just paid $635 for a Hampton registration, and the girl's not even going to Hampton.
Yes.
So I could see, and let me say this. Thank God that I have the money, and I have people that can give me the money as well.
You're backed by people that are blessed.
So, but I'm just saying, like, I could see if you've never been to college and you're seeing all these fees, that'll be like,
you get confused.
Or it's like, hold on, like, what is this for? So, but the other thing is, not to cut you off,
no, you're fine.
is that I don't know if people in DC know what's available to DC public school students.
They don't.
I mean, even up to going to UDC. Now, when me and Monty was growing up and you was growing up, UDC was a great option. UDC had a basketball team, football team.
Yes. They
had everything. Like, they have these beautiful, this luxurious thing. I don't know if that's being sold, but it's so many options available to DC public school students that there's a misunderstanding, a gap of information between, and it's a prime example. Man, I know I'm probably going to go somewhere on this one. So the student that I'm helping at Duke Ellington, she has a 3.7 GPA in Duke Ellington School of Performing Arts. She is the SGA president. How have y'all not got her in college yet?
Because, see...
okay, Paul, we know why. But because why is it on me? You know what I mean? Now, how many other people you think could be now? There's no way you can go to Duke Ellington. Which school starts at 8:30.
The School of the Performing Arts.
Homie.
Let's say what it is.
School that starts at 8:30, ends at 5:30. You have a 3.7, 3.8. How is that happening?
I feel like a lot of students end up falling through the cracks because it means more work, and like it's a trend. Like, we're gonna have to talk about it because it's a trend I've been noticing. Like, even with honor roll assemblies, guidance counselors aren't leading them anymore. Teachers are, which takes away from education time for students in seating, which puts them behind the 8 ball when it comes time for testing.
Which is why more youth programs should have an educational in route to them. Yeah, like maybe, like I just think we should, to me, like anything, what is the end game?
Well, I feel like as a parent, I was a little different because with my son, we did contracts, behavior contracts, expectation contracts, education contracts. And in these contracts, it states these are the things that you must do. These are the consequences if you don't do them. And this is what future consequences will be. Because I feel like we coddle our kids. We spoil them. We buy them the best of everything. But we never prepare them for real life. On a job, no one's going to coddle you.
I agree with that. But I'm just saying, for the person that does not have a Kapri.
That's what I'm saying.
That is a great student. That's obviously achieving at a high.
They don't have help.
Exactly. And then who is there? So that's my whole
Guidance
point.
counselors are swamped and overwhelmed. It's no longer educational issues that are taking
Absolutely.
place. It's
Absolutely.
issues at home.
Absolutely.
So it's...
But I'm just saying what the success of my program
Yes.
is and why it is. So yeah.
Yeah, so in the comments, they're saying thank you so much for everything you do for the youth. They appreciate you.
That's what's up.
And Keisha said, thank you for being consistent. It
Keisha,
got
who's
you.
Keisha?
Her name is Keisha Hannibal. She said, you being consistent got you here now. There's
Absolutely.
more kings. So they're speaking blessings over all
Absolutely.
the things
Thank
that you
you,
are walking through
Keisha.
educationally. So let's get to the music.
Okay, we can.
This is what they came in for. I'm joking. So explain to people, because you are a music lover, not just of go-go, but outside of go-go.
Absolutely.
Explain to people how you got into the culture, and then
of
we'll go into
music and go-go. Oh, go-go.
music first, go-go second.
Okay. So unknown fact. It's crazy because nobody
Has ever asked you that?
Yeah, and nobody
Welcome
knows
to No
this.
Gray Area.
So my mother, who died when I was in the 11th grade, but my mother and my aunt were both choir directors.
Really?
My aunt, her name is Butalax. She was the first African American choir director at the oldest church in Georgetown, First Baptist Church of Georgetown. She's one of the first African American people to do a concert in the White House before Mattie Moss.
Okay.
So when I was young, I was in the choir. Now, people who know me as a lead talker, they hear a lot of rhythmic notes coming through. It's because when I was young, my mother and my aunt, when they were teaching me how to be in the choir, they would make me play notes. So I'd stand in front of the piano and it'd be dun 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 dun, and I would have to say the note back. Little did I know that was teaching me to hear music, and it was teaching me how to improvise music. So it started because my mom was a successful choir director. Both of my mom and my aunts actually have records and all that. And here's the thing. I also have a sister who nobody knows is a pastor of a church.
Okay.
And I don't tell nobody who she is because, we do a great job of separating that or whatever. But
Yes.
yeah, so, but actually, yeah. So that's kind of like how I started.
So how do we get into go-go?
Because if you're born in Washington, D.C., you didn't have any option. Now, another unknown fact of me, Butch Lewis, who was EU's first drummer, and he played with Lil Benny and right before Terry Lambert came before Go-Go Live, he lived 6 doors up from my house. So EU in the beginning practiced. They were practicing in transition before they got Juju. So Butch Lewis, rest in peace, the drummer, he passed away. So I grew up on 99 Rollin Avenue. He lived at 111 or 112 Rollin Avenue. So
Right down the street.
yeah. One day, the first person I ever met in go-go in the history, I come outside. I'm probably in like the 6th grade, and little Benny is sitting on his porch.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, little Benny. And me and him had a deep relationship to the day he passed away. Little Benny was the first person that I ever met, and I just, like everybody that grew up in the 80s and 90s, you didn't really have a choice. I mean, the music was here. I lived here when, if you like rap music, they thought you was trying to be from New York.
They thought you wasn't from here.
Yeah, so
Yeah, you don't belong.
So I was just a product of my environment. The other thing is, the Peacemakers. A lot of the Peacemaker members all grew up in my neighborhood. Maniac lived in my neighborhood. Hot Sauce actually grew up 2 blocks. So Hot Sauce, Mike that played keyboard, and
Yes.
Chucky Thompson grew up. I grew up in their neighborhood. So my first real teacher in go-go was Hot Sauce. People who know, I'm Uncle Salih to the family, whatever, Rico, and Buggy. So they were the ones that had taught me. But I had started playing in a band in junior high school.
And what was the name of that band?
Schoolyard.
Schoolyard. Why did y'all name it? Why would you shake your head like that? Why did y'all name the band?
I don't know.
It was a yard though. Once in a yard, always.
Yeah,
in a yard.
here's the thing. Junkyard had, whether people notice or not, Junkyard probably influenced more young black people in the 80s to want to play music than anybody because it was simplistic and you could just collect junk in your neighborhood and do it. So yeah, the first band I actually played with is called Schoolyard.
Schoolyard. So from Schoolyard, where does E go?
Young-
Are you still E? Who are you when you
I'm
were
E.
Schoolyard?
No, I'm E.
Okay.
Everybody in my neighborhood where I grew up at, they always
Still call you E.
Or for people who do know, okay, let me ask you a question. Do you know that I got a twin brother?
I do know you have a twin brother.
Yeah, so I have a twin brother, so people would confuse us a lot in the beginning. But
Really?
But we just did different. We definitely took different paths. For people who know, they know.
Yeah.
But I did music, and people, so that's where it started. And then I ended up joining a band called Young Production, and that's kind of like where what happened was my manager was one of the early investors in Icy Ice. Do you remember Icy Ice?
I do remember
Shout out to Ken. So I remember it's interesting. When I first started in Young Production, Rapper had just joined to start being the lead talker of Northeast Groovers. So Sam had just came because Tommy was playing and Kurt was playing.
Little Sammy.
Yeah, they left. And I was trying to see if I could try out for Northeast, because I tried out for a few bands that didn't make it. You would be surprised, another band that I tried out for and didn't make it, and I held this against them for a while.
Why? What band was it?
Huckabucks.
Oh, come on. Don't do that to my people. Listen.
Shout out to Joey.
I'm a proud Bladensburg Mustang.
Mm-hmm.
You can't play with my mob. Mm-hmm. Listen, sneaking out on school night. Shout out to Los. I just saw Chiefy last night.
Shout out to Chiefy. I remember
just
Chiefy.
saw him last night.
Guess why? Let me tell you why I didn't make it, though.
Why?
It's honest God truth. Man.
Don't say nothing crazy.
No, hold on. They said this to me. Charlie Brian, lead talker Brian, who was talking for High Cold Sweat.
Yes.
He brung me to Charlie.
Shout out to Mr. Charlie Fenwick, y'all.
Because Brian was my idol growing up. He was the first person that I looked at.
Brian?
No. Brian, 100%.
Okay.
In the beginning of me doing go-go, was absolutely the most influential person that probably ever lived. He was more influential. I idolized Brian. I had a picture of High Cold Sweat. Wincy is from my neighborhood. Wincy lived in my neighborhood as well, so I had a picture of them. High Cold Sweat.
On the wall.
Yes. Rest in peace, Tony Front Roy. He was in it. Wincy, Brian. Like, that's how much I idolize him. I go to the tryout. Brian, go ahead and do what you're going to do. Charlie says, go and do. Miss Fenwick says, Leora Fenwick, Charlie's wife, who had her hand in it.
Who still does music to this very day.
Said, you are a real good talker, but the look that we want, you don't look like you belong in what we're trying to accomplish. So I took that and I never forgot that. So I tried out for the Huckabucks. I'm not saying, being honest, I should have made it.
Okay.
But I did not make it based on looks. And that really...
And not the lack of talent. It was just the image they were trying to portray.
Yeah, because Joey wasn't the first talker. Mm-mm. It was, I forgot, was it Ty? Ty was the first talker. Yeah, but truth be told, I beat all of them. They just said I didn't have the look.
You didn't have the look. Wow. Can you imagine the course of history? Like, I wonder if it would have been different, but...
Yeah.
So, no Huckabucks.
No Huckabucks.
Where do we go next?
I Can Mason.
Who is back in town? Welcome back, I Can.
Welcome back. Moved to my neighborhood. So I had been playing in Young Production. They moved to 115 Rhode Island Avenue. I'm walking in the alley. I had heard the band practicing. I saw I Can in the backyard playing basketball, and I just went in and started talking to him. He told me about a band. My band, Young Production, had opened up for Junkyard at the homecoming, and he had kind of saw, oh wow, and he kept telling his father, no, we need E, because Scooby was the talker, and Scooby did not want to talk. So the whole time Scooby was trying to be a singer or whatever.
He's a great vocalist.
Yeah. First of all, Scooby's amazing at everything he does.
Facts.
So be clear about this. But he had no desire. Like, he was really honest about the fact that he wanted to sing. He was in a singing group. So, and that's pretty much what happened. So I end up just being, in Young Production, the manager got caught up in some stuff.
Good grief.
Yeah, no, but let me say this, because he ended up getting out of it. But I've never talked about this, but I wasn't from uptown. I was kind of from Northeast. So my brother, my twin actually, and a few people was like, "You're not from up there. You should kind of
stay away,
stay out of the mix." I mean, remember, it's the 90s.
Yeah, the quadrants were different. If you were from Southeast, you stayed in Southeast.
But let me say this: the manager, Al Jones, who is a guidance counselor at Baloo, who mentors, was probably one of the most influential, loving human beings I've ever met.
In the culture or just in life general?
Both. In life general. He's still to this day. If anything happens to one of us, he will be there. He's one phone call to this day that I know I can make and he'll be there. But I was not from upper Northwest. And I just decided that, and I don't want to get, because I could get deep into it, because, well, I'm not. there were a few situations where band members were traveling uptown and all that, and neighborhood stuff started getting into it. So I kind of eased out of it because I was not from up there. And even though I knew he would have never let anything happen to me,
it's still about peace of mind.
Yeah, not peace of mind. My brothers and people in my neighborhood was like, just stay from up there. So that was the real reason why I'm like, well, I can't live in my neighborhood. His father is really about something else. And his father really, at that point, took on a fatherly role that has existed. You know what I mean? I make jokes about this. I tell I can and his family this. I'm his greatest creation. And I tell them, I'm Ignatius Mason's greatest creation. He has mentored a lot of people, but ain't none of them done what I did.
Like you.
Yeah, so I took his blueprint and ran with it. Which is how I met Montu in the Union Temple situation. Okay, yeah, but yeah.
We definitely gonna get into Union Temple because Union Temple is very ingrained in this culture.
Absolutely.
Whether people know it or understand it.
Yeah, we like a secret society that everybody don't necessarily know exists.
Y'all are like, I don't know how to. Y'all are the secret society of this culture. A lot of great musicians, not just vocalists, but musicians. Period.
Or people who just not may be in there, but kind of connected and got some type of relationship. It kind of, so.
Yes.
Shout out to Willie Wilson, who allowed me to get in there and crank the other day.
Yes. Oh, we're going to get into it. While we're right here now, I do want to take a moment to recognize a couple of people very quickly. We just...
Yeah, it's difficult for me too, so trust me, I'm dealing with it. I didn't even post about it.
I want to send love to the White family, the Wingologists.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Who I've known since he was 14. Yeah. He was one of the first kids I ever mentored I was worked in the Marion Bradshaw Leadership Institute. If you heard the speech online, and so we had only 2 people came to my house and just sat with me. When I had cancer and everybody thought I was going to pass away.
One of them.
And the other one, guess who the other one was? Montu.
I believe it. I believe it. I know that Union Temple, you guys have, the fellas of Union Temple, you guys have an unbreakable bond. Regardless of what y'all go through in life, y'all always come back together. You have the conversations. And I know that was hard for y'all.
Yeah.
And then also, I want to send... my love, of course, out to CMB. Rusty lost his son, and on top of that, they are actually dealing with the 1-year anniversary of Man Clark, a member of their band that passed. That was basically the glue that held everything together for them. Yeah. So I definitely want to take the time to recognize that.
Absolutely.
So you get with Ican's dad. He turns you into...
Young Maurice White, the rebirth.
Young Maurice
shout out,
White.
Shout out to Stomp Dog and Raheem, who I joke with them about this. You know what I mean?
So please give
the rebirth, baby. No, but here's the thing. I think people really think it's a joke. And you know what I mean? Like, nobody's never asked me why I say that. You know what I mean? But,
oh, no, I'm going to get into it because I need to know.
Okay.
So why do you call yourself the Rebirth?
So first thing is, he told me I was.
Okay.
Out of his mouth. So, because people are like, yeah, he told. No, he 100% told me. Had a conversation with me about it. He gave me a blueprint for Go-Go. He told me what to do, how to do it, and the culmination of this Raheem Devon and Crank Crusaders thing is one of it.
Let's speak on the Raheem Devon and Crank Crusaders thing right after we finish this. Come on.
No, and then the other thing was he came to me in a dream when I was doing chemo and kind of told me that. And so I had a stem cell, I had a full body stem cell transplant, which for people who do not know is you have to be quarantined in the hospital for 45 to 60 days. So I spent the 60 days. I was having like a lot of dreams when I was in there. But he basically came to me in a dream. And after I had my stem cells, so this is another unknown fact. Only person that I've ever told this to was my students and Leon Harris from News Channel 4 because he had the same incident. So I had a stem cell transplant, and I actually for about 10 minutes thought I was dead. Because so to get a stem cell transplant, they give you this thing called wipeout chemo.
Yes.
So you're living on a machine.
Yes.
If anything happens to that machine, even if you sleep with different, you're done.
Yes.
A couple of times the machine almost cut off because I was sleeping and they had to run in, the beep, 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 all that going on.
Fix it.
Yeah, so after I had my stem cell transplant, I had woke up and people were cleaning the room. in there. So I see people cleaning the room, and for a minute I'm like, oh, I must be dead, because they just in here. I just saw people they were like picking, it looked like they were just packing stuff up. So I'm like, oh, I must be dead. So I kind of reach out, and the lady was like, oh, welcome back, Mr. Williams. And I said, oh, you motherfucking right, I'm back. That's exactly what I said to her. And
you had an out of body experience, and you was on that plateau on that plane, right there.
Oh no, I thought it was over.
Yeah.
No. Like, I want you to put that in your mind that you think, oh, it's over. This is what it feels like when you transition.
When I'm going.
Psych, you still here.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, Carter.
And I was a new person after that. People don't realize that when you have a new, you got to get all your vaccines as if you're a newborn baby. Everything changed from there. The way I feel, my whole body has changed. Mentally, I'm a lot more sharper. I think quicker. So it was a rebirth. When you have a stem cell transplant, you have a newborn date.
Yes.
So I have 2 birthdays. I've lived that long.
I've lived that long.
Yeah.
It's a
March
blessing.
13th is my rebirth, and May 30th is my actual birthday. So
you celebrate both.
Yeah, but I was actually it was a rebirth with me.
So we go through the rebirthing stage. And you know who you are. You are
Bootsy Vegas.
Yes. And
Young Maurice White.
How do we become Bootsy Vegas? Like I told Tu, I'm like, I don't know what to call him. I get so confused. Yeah. But I'm not calling no grown man Bootsy. I'm gonna call him the 5th letter forever.
How about it?
So how do we get to become Bootsy Vegas?
Well, that was 100% a Donnie Simpson creation. So what happened was, how I got on Donnie was, it was something called Next Stop Jock. So people who do know, Huggy Lowdown and Chris Paul left Donnie while he was on vacation.
I remember.
Yeah, so they left. Split. They had a contest to find his replacements. The first time I tried to get in the radio, I was using my regular go-go name, and everybody was like, oh, that's just E. Somebody actually called me, worked there. Matter of fact, shout out to Rain from Home Team. She kind of called. She called me and told me, you might want to change your name. People in here kind of using your go-go thing against you, blase. So you had to send in the air check, and then the air checks that were good, Donnie would play it to say, these are the people that make me to the top 5. So I just went into a studio. Shout out to Samantha Gunny. I'm like, man, I gotta, Rain had called me and said, don't use E.
I gotta rebrand.
She said, don't. She said, whatever you do not. She said, now, if I was you, I would disconnect myself from the go-go situation so they can't hold it against you. Because people try to minimize people like, oh, it's just, that person. I go into the studio, she had a playlist up, and you got A, B, C. So I knew my last name, I wanted it to be Vegas. I don't know why I just said Vegas. The first song that was on her playlist was Bootsy Collins, We Want Bootsy. And I said, that's it? That's it?
Listen.
And then that's how it happened. So I became Bootsy Vegas, and while the contest was going on, people would come to me and say, are you that guy, Bootsy Vegas? And I'm like, no, but everybody keeps saying I am. Like,
out of control.
Yeah, so I was like denying it the whole time. Like
until it came.
I even denied it to Pat Boone, Scooby's cousin. He called me one day and said, is that you? I'm like, bruh, I don't know who that. I'm like, why everybody keeps saying that, Pat? Like, so I denied it the whole time. So yeah, so it basically, I created the name to be on radio because I'd already had a degree in broadcast journalism, and I had been offered jobs before. What happened was I was offered a job in Chattanooga, Tennessee to do the morning show, but Earth, Wind & Fire offered me a job first. So that's why I did not take it.
So Earth, Wind & Fire came first. Because I have people, like right now, someone is like, he inspires me. How did he get into broadcast journalism? Yeah. Well, if y'all caught that just now, we just told you.
Yeah.
The name change happened.
Yeah, it was strictly.
The rebranding took place.
Yeah. I tell Donnie that is your name. Like, really, Donnie is the person that actually created, and people who do know, we got a deep relationship. You want to know how deep it is? I told Montu to come up here and hang out with us, a couple of times. And a couple of times, he brought his kids up there, and Donnie like, what's up, Montu? He don't even need me to call Donnie no more.
Right.
He probably talk to Donnie more. He might not, but he might, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like,
the personable relationships that were built.
That's my man.
Yeah. So Bootsy Vegas.
Yep.
We're in Go-Go. We're back. We're in Go-Go. Where are we at in Go-Go? What band are we with?
So right now it is Raheem Devon and the
Crank Crusaders, because you definitely brought it up. So tell people about the project.
Okay, so the project started, we had begun this about a year before COVID had came. We had, I had an idea. Basically, I said to myself, I can't do Shooby Dooby no more. I'm not just going, it got to a point where I'm saying,
Rest in peace, D Nasty.
rest in peace, D Nasty.
Oh my God.
Shooby Dooby killer. Shooby Dooby killer.
Yes.
So what happened was, now this is an unknown fact, right? I've never told this story before even.
Let's go.
Me and Ryan had been talking about doing a band. We had, even when I was in Listen, we had talked about it. So me and Raheem had got into it pretty bad, where we were not, it was beyond not speaking. We were not speaking. We were not friends. You know what I mean? We would see each other, not even speak. It was a misunderstanding between somebody else and it was just all that. When he found out that I had stage 4 cancer and people thought I was going to pass away the first time, he just called me and we talked it out. And in his mind, I think he was saying, we're going to do it now, because I don't think he wanted me. He thought I may give up. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, let me tell you this right now. Yeah, I'm not going to die. I'm not giving up. He's like, no, I know. And so I think in the beginning, it was because he wanted me to hold on to something. Believe it or not, Sugar Bear kind of did the same thing. Mm-hmm. Sugar Bear and Raheem both called me and said, when you beat this, I'm going to help you get back. Mm-hmm. They were the only people that even offered me an opportunity. So, so it started, and we had completed an album. So we have an album. We had an album done. We have a single with Earth, Wind & Fire, which is done. We were going to shoot a video at Wolf Trap. But what happened was, Earth, Wind & Fire had played July 2nd in Essence Festival. So Raheem had got booked, so we had to cancel it. And then COVID comes.
Right.
So we've been sitting on this album, and we just decided to get it back. We played for Raheem's birthday. We just recorded some more stuff. We actually got 19 songs.
Okay. That sounds like a double EP to me. But...
We have some great features.
Okay.
Because it's him, I don't want to be telling nobody because people ain't signed off on it yet.
Facts.
But
stay tuned.
But let me say this: it's big.
Okay.
Like it's big.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So, but it's done, and we are playing, and we're about to take it every week situation. We will be doing it every Thursday.
Every Thursday.
Raheem Devon and the Crank Crusaders will be doing it every Thursday. And we'll be able to talk about it in about a week, about 2 weeks.
Oh, don't worry, I'm gonna follow up. I'm not playing with you. I need to know. Like, is it in the city? Is it in I got questions.
Yeah, it's in the city.
Okay.
And let me say this: it is a done deal.
Okay.
So people will probably be thinking Raheem Devon's gonna be every week playing. Yeah, he will be. We will be playing.
And that I can understand people feeling that way because national level artists, touring, appearances, other engagements.
Right.
But every week thing.
Yep.
The Crank Crusaders.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Stomp Dog too.
I'm about to say, was Stomp on the drums every Thursday?
Yeah. Well, Stomp is part owner of the situation. It's me, Stomp, and Rod's situation.
Okay. So I'm excited.
Raheem handles Stomp handles production. Stomp does a lot of stuff for Raheem without me being around. So
yeah. Stomp is Mr. A-Team. He is.
No, he's everywhere.
He's the go-to.
Hold on,
a lot of people's go-to.
I looked up one day and saw a live television performance and saw Stomp and Raheem in the joint.
Yes.
I'm like, man, y'all didn't invite me. So, yeah.
You know stuff happens so quick around here. So, Crank Crusaders, Raheem Devon.
Right.
We stopped with your history right after ICANN's dad. You're the new reincarnation of Maurice White. Rebirth of Mr. White himself. So where does E land musically?
Well, I'm just trying to create. What I feel like I'm trying to do is continue what Ignatius Mason taught me. I feel like, and I'm going to be honest with you on this one, I don't know what the state of go-go is. I think there's a lot of issues. Me and Montu have had, debates over it.
We're going to get into them today, too.
I just think that people need, it's okay to be creative. It's okay to be experimental. And I want to finish doing what I started, you know what I mean? So right now, we are creating an album, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to, start venturing out and playing with other bands, probably on Mondays, right? No, I'm joking.
No, definitely on Mondays. I already invited you out.
Okay. Well, yeah.
My finger pointing, he started trouble.
We're supposed to keep it a wrap until we get shout out to Deo.
Yes,
but yeah. Up. So, basically I'm just trying to, get back in the mix. There have been, I have not been welcomed back amongst go-go musicians into the situation.
Why?
I think it's because I'm good. I think because I don't want to say I'm a threat, but go-go's a small type of thing, and everybody's fighting for something. And I don't think this generation of grown and sexy see the value of working as a collaboratively to build something different. One of the most amazing things that I ever saw in my life was at Unifest. I saw Sugar Bear, Lil Benny, and Funk playing with proper utensils. Like, I'm still hoping that one day we can get to that moment where we can understand the value of picking each other up to keep the music. But for some reason, I don't get that type of love. It's interesting. Post-cancer treatment, post me beating cancer, there have been very few opportunities amongst people in my age demographic to get me back. So why, I don't know.
So do you feel like people have an issue with either person, or do you feel like people don't know you or understand you as an artist? Like, what type of...
Okay, my thoughts is somebody has been putting I would say a bad bone, because...
Yeah, I heard you're difficult to work with.
Okay, so first of all, that is not true. But, Lord knows if you have an expectation and you want to do 2 hours worth of practice. I was explaining to you about the situation the first time with R&S. You know what I mean? Like, if we got practice at 10 and you
Everything is about professionalism.
And you stroll in at 11:30, I am going to be difficult to do. And you got to mind you, I come from Listen, OP Tribe, and Earth, Wind, and Fire. So I do have a expectation on everything that I do. Hence why 31 kids are going to college as mass comm majors. Like, I have a different level. Facts. And for some people in go-go, it's just a hobby. It's just something that we do. We're just going to do it. You know what I mean? But for most people that I don't know a lot of people personally. For them, I don't think to have a personal relationship. If I have not played in a band with you, I don't think you know me personally. I don't think you can say you know me just in passing. As much as I feel like me and you are cool, I don't feel like I know you.
Right.
You know what I mean? I know you to the point where I can be giving people an opinion on who you are as a person,
right,
or what your personality is. You know what I mean?
Or what you've observed yourself physically.
Yeah. I can give you an assessment of what I think you are, but I don't know you good enough to tell somebody you should not do business with her or that. Most people, I'm surprised that I don't, and I've had band members come to me. Like, I give you a perfect example. I was, I don't know what I was doing something, and Dwayne Lee, the guitar player, was playing it, and then he just stops in the middle of the project.
Dynamite producer,
shout out to Dwayne Lee. And out of nowhere, he says, "Man, you nothing like they said you was. Man, you cool as a mug." And I'm like, really? Like, that's when I started realizing that people had these things. If you've never been in a band, I would say just ask people that's been in a band with me. You know what I mean? And the other thing is, when you're a leader and you're in a leadership position, sometimes you got to make uncomfortable, decisions, and you got to have a whole expectation, which we talked about situation right now of what I would want. You know what I mean? At this particular point, and mind you, right now, right. So if I'm so difficult to deal with, why would Raheem Devon, who is a successful traveling R&B artist who makes, I don't want to tell everybody his numbers, but he makes
money.
He makes well over
good money.
Okay, why would he want to stop and invest in me? So why would he want to stop and create a whole situation and find me a distribution record deal if I was that bad?
Well, what I believe, what I feel,
mm-hmm.
I feel like in this culture there are not enough standards. I feel like we do not have an industry standard, an mm-hmm. industry status quo.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we don't have an established hierarchy.
Keep going.
So I feel like when you bring order into a situation that is functioned off of chaos and disorder, you are deemed hard to work with because people expect you to just take your money and do what they tell you to do.
But also this too, though. Here's another elephant in the room. Some people like creating. Some people don't want to play 20 cover songs in one beat.
Facts.
Some people may have an idea or some lyrics they done wrote down and they want to use it. And they don't want to be doing 2 hours worth of R&B covers in one beat.
And they don't want to play in F flat, and they don't even know what F flat or F major is. Like, it's education that goes along with the culture. I feel like in this culture, we've been flying by the seat of our pants and doing, I don't know how to nicely say it, poor business. I don't want to use the word that I was thinking in my head. I feel like we've been doing bad business for so long that those practices have spilled all the way into a paid practice. I don't understand why you would waste the time that you paid for at practice. That just says to me you're not invested in what you're doing. Or
you definitely can't be mad if I'm not cool with you coming to a practice. If I have to do a morning show.
Facts. If I have to get up in the morning.
Okay, hold on. I want you to think about this one. Arguably the greatest African-American radio personality, probably he's in the Hall of Fame.
Facts.
He's given a go-go guy an opportunity when people told him, do not give me an opportunity. y'all know I got to be there at 5 o'clock. If practice starts at 10 and you show up at 11:30 and I leave, you can't be mad at me about that.
No, because you're actually sabotaging me on the other side. But people are so selfish in this culture.
Mind you, this too about radio. Your voice got to be ready. You know, like if you don't get the good amount of sleep, you know what I mean. And so just think about that. You know what I mean. And then when you got an expectation, that makes you a bad guy. So, but most of the people that have been passing opinions on me, I don't even know. I was, telling you before we got on. Yeah. Man, I still be finding out stuff with people that I don't even know like that. Like, and I would say I'm cool with people, but if we ain't hung out or you don't have my phone number, I don't think we know each other.
I mean, facts.
Yeah.
And I feel like another issue is people go off of other people's perception and or opinion, because a lot of times it's not even a perception, it's an opinion based on you setting standards. Oh no, he's hard to work with. So that's what they go and tell people, not understanding that if you want to get out of this area, like, because
I do.
But this is the thing. If you do local things with a local mind, there is no way you're getting out into the world. You can't be focused on this beltway.
Speak on the system.
Because this beltway is not going to take you but Maryland, Virginia, and D.C. And you got to go from the beltway to a whole nother highway to get past here. So if that's what you're focused on, we're stuck.
And mind you, at this particular time, I'm from Ignatius Mason Camp, Maurice White, and Donnie Simpson. So you should know I probably have some type of
standards.
And Raheem Devon.
Yeah, I have standards.
So like
professionalism is a standard, and that's timeliness.
Or standard, or some type of expectation of what I would like to accomplish.
Right.
So yeah.
So when bands approach you, do you think that should be a question they should ask you? My words that they should ask. Like, what are your expectations? What would you like to see come from the project?
Yeah, that would be nice. But I just think at the end of the day, they're just trying to find people to piece together to keep a situation moving, which I understand. Just don't be mad if I have an expectation. I'm not difficult if I say, well, I've had a few. This is honest to God truth, unknown fact. I've had about 3 to 4 grown and sexy, successful bands at some point come to me and had a conversation. And I said, well, can we just create something? If I come, can we create something? And they're like, nah, we just going, we playing on Thursday. We got the set list. And it's like, well, at some point, you should.
Boredom is going to strike.
Yeah, or it's not going to be fulfilling.
Right. So for you as an artist, you want your footprint on projects to be one of creativity and different, something different for the culture.
Right.
Do you feel like we're missing that?
100%. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of issues that play go-go, but I just think no matter what, let's remember that it's okay to be creative. You know what I mean? It's okay to try to find your identity in the midst of what you're doing. I just think we're at the point now. I predicted this. I remember a good friend of mine named Montu, when he would come over to, we would be at Go-Go Radio, because Montu would always come support us with the Blend Show. And we had a few conversations about why you saying shooby-dooby. You got all these people saying shooby-dooby, shooby-dooby, shooby-dooby-doo. But I told people 10 years ago, if you think a culture is going to be able to sustain itself on one beat in R&B songs, we're probably going to be, we're probably going down a road. And I think, which is one of the reasons why people do not have the interest that they used to have in it. It's not the fact that they lost interest. It's the fact that nobody's being creative. I played in the town when it was Backyard, Norby's Groovers, Junkyard, OP Tribe, Huckabucks, Pure Elegance. Everybody had their own sound. Sugar Bear gave me a great analogy one day. And I'll say this because Sugar Bear don't mind, We were at
another dynamite educator that is a part of the culture.
He sure is. One day we were at La Fontaine Blue. It was one of them shooby-dooby festivals,
Shooby-dooby festival. Was it on a Thursday?
It was on a Thursday. And
sir.
And I ain't gonna say the bands because I don't want nobody to think I'm dissing them, but it was like 4 grown and sexy bands. And Beyonce, We Like to Party, that was out, and it was Trey Songz and all that. So basically, every band all the 4 opening bands had played pretty much the same set list. Sugar Bear comes to me and says, let me ask you a question. And I said, what, Sugar Bear? He said, if you played Mary Had a Little Lamb, and I played Mary Had a Little Lamb, and they played Mary Had a Little Lamb, and that first band played Mother, and we all played it in the same beat with the same chord progression, what did we just prove in here today?
That I should have left after the first band played it.
And he said, and that's why we're in the situation that we in. And that was a great, Now, he may not probably say that to people, but that was triggering to me. The fact that nobody said, well, we probably should not do that because the first 3 bands just did it. You know what I mean?
I feel like it's the comfort that the culture has. Like, I'm not going to lie. I go to see a lot of bands. And I hear the same songs hit continuously by different bands.
Of course you do.
And it's disheartening to me. I feel like the culture is at a point right now where the things that we did prior to COVID are not going to sustain us on this other side. Gas prices are high.
Right.
6 chicken wings is $19 at this point.
Speak on it.
In the club. Drink prices have gone up.
Let me ask you a question.
You got to give me a reason to come out.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think the virtual concert thing is here to stay and go?
I honestly believe, I would not say a virtual concert. What I would say is if we could actually sit down and do like when we were doing the live streams with the interview portion of it. So it could be like a Showtime at the Apollo just without having to rub the log and it's 10 people performing.
Right.
But it's like Showtime at the Apollo for one band.
Right.
And that gives them content that they can use because it's done professionally. They can share it out. It can be a landing place for people from other places that may want to hire them. But the problem is...
And guess what just proved that? Everything you just saying, along with just being creative on how you present it.
Yes.
Guess who just proved that? This guy named Montu and this girl named Kapri with the March Madness, man. Now, what y'all created has now took Obsession somewhere else that everybody couldn't get.
City Winery.
Now, mind you, I'm not gonna say it wasn't the most creative thing. Probably somebody else probably could have did it, but the presentation was
and the
super,
execution.
And the execution was it. And guess what? If you present something and people are being creative, then you don't know where it can take you. I think that is exactly what it is. Maurice White used to tell me a few rules. But it's one rule that Maurice White told me. He said evolution is undefeated.
It is.
And he said when it starts to evolve, you better get in front of it.
Yes.
And y'all just showed and proved what the evolution is. And let's see who follows that. Because guess what? Anybody could do or just think of something to be creative. You know what I mean? Because the problem is we're tired of the one beat. We're tired of the same presentation with the same people. And it's okay to offer something. And that's what's going to sustain us.
Yeah, I need something different for my money at this point. Like I do. Gas is $5 a gallon, basically. Like, if y'all want me traveling to West Hoochie-Ville, Maryland, and across the bridge to Virginia, and y'all want me to go up north yonder, like, y'all have to give me a reason. Or if somebody's gonna go live, I'm gonna catch it live. That's just what it's gonna be. Period.
Right.
Like,
but when I catch you live, you make sure you got something that's gonna keep me in.
Hello.
Offer me something that I can't go see.
And please stop going live from the back of an establishment that has absolutely no crowd. You are hurting the band.
Yeah, that's a great.
No one wants to go where no one is.
You're really great with your assessments, but yeah, that's a great assessment as well.
And no one wants to go where no one is. So we're stuck at the creativity point. So let's address the elephant in the room. Let's get to it.
We can address all elephants.
So Scooby was here a while ago.
Shout out to Scooby. Happy birthday.
Happy belated.
Happy belated birthday.
Yes, my guy.
He did invite me.
He did.
No, he did. He invited me to. We know he had a thing at his house.
Yes.
So yeah, shout out to that.
So questions have been asked. Scooby made it a point to clear up a statement about Listen and OP Tribe coming from the same tree, and it did not come from the same tree.
Ho. He said what?
So a statement was made where it had to be cleared up as to where did Listen come from? Where did OP Tribe come from? Because people were saying that one was spun off of the other. And he's saying, no. Listen started as a totally different group when I was in high school under a different name. And then, Listen became that later. And it was a difference. So, Listen for you, OP Tribe for you. Optimistic Tribe for those of you guys who don't know.
Well, as far as I remember it, Listen was playing Friday. OP Drive was playing Fridays at Club U. At Magic Q.
Oh God!
And then Saturdays at that. It was the same band members. At the time, Tuffy, everybody else on Listen Frontline was in OP Tribe. We kind of brought the horns back in. Only one or two. Well, the horn players, Mark, the twins, and Lawrence did not play, but everybody else that was in the beginning had all played with OP Tribe. They were the same members. a lot of the go-go, some of the go-go songs that they played. I will say this. So let me say this first. Scooby is one of my good friends. Me and Scooby, we all talk a lot. We're really good friends. So we don't offend nobody. I guess it's best that I can just let him tell his story, which is, you know what I mean?
His story.
Yeah, and then I can say, we all played in Opie Tribe together.
Okay.
Listen was his singing group. They needed a name, and instead of using Opie Tribe, which, because what happened was when they first started playing at Tacoma Station, Mahmoud, everybody from Union Temple know Mahmoud, Salim is his dad. He didn't want to use the name Opie Tribe. That was their singing group name. But they did always have that desire to do that. But it wasn't like it was a separate band and everybody, you know, we went and found new members. We were all playing in Opie Tribe. And in the beginning of Listen, I was actually playing some of the second half as well, you know what I mean? But you know what, people may forget that. But I guess if he really wants to separate himself, because he is not the only person that has decided that they kind of don't want to be connected too much to Opie Tribe for whatever reason.
Okay.
But as far as I remember it, maybe I'm wrong because I got pictures of it. Mike was in the band. Scooby was in the band. Tuffy was in the band. O was in the band. Arvell was in the band. Peony was in the band. Mo Sampson was in the band. And I Can was in the band. At least I remember them being in both bands. You know what I mean? So maybe, you know, they may have cut the switch off or whatever. But that's what I remember because we did a lot of stuff together. You know what I mean? Like Opie Tribe and some... When they would do listen group, they would be some of the same members. But as far as I remember, Arvell played in Opie Tribe. Peony played in. Let me say this again because I know it's going to be confusing. Arvell, Peony, Scooby, Tuffy, O, Mike Thompson, Wayne, because Wayne was one of the first. I remember them all playing in Opie Tribe. Now maybe he don't remember them playing.
In the comments saying, yeah, they were. Doughboy said they was all in OP Tribe.
Homie, maybe. Hey, let me say this.
Said Listen was like another side of OP Tribe.
And basically it was that. It was more of an R&B thing. It was, you know what I mean? And Mahmoud did not want to use Nate. But let me say this. Maybe he may not remember all of them.
So it was the Shooby Dooby side? Is that what you're telling me?
Let me say this. They wanted to do more R&B. Okay. So they had their own R&B side. And one thing about Scooby, he had R&B songs, and Listen, the singing group had their own material. So it was not cover based. But I remember all of us being in the band together. Maybe they might not have been in the band. You know what I mean? Kapri, and you know, who knows? Maybe they all were not in the band. But I remember all of us. I remember me included playing at Tacoma Station when they first started using the name. But you know what? Maybe because of the chemo and the stem cell transplant, maybe I could be wrong.
Maybe you could be wrong. I don't know. They're in the comments saying you're correct.
And let me say this. A lot of people that were in Listen and some people, they do have a desire to disconnect themselves from Opie Tribe for whatever reason. That's not the first time that I've actually heard it.
So why would you think that they would disconnect?
And before I answer that, let me tell you this thing. When they had left and I did Earth, Wind and Fire and came back and started Opie Tribe, everybody, all the promoters told me don't use Opie Tribe. You should get a new name. They basically was like, you know, the way Scooby and them got a new name, you should do something. I had a lot of people, promoters and all that people tell me, get another name. I had a lot of people tell me that. I mean, I would say 80% of the people tell me. So let me say this. I can understand my way people want to disconnect. But once again, I remember all of them being in the band with me. Maybe he does not remember them being in the band, and I don't know. You know what I mean? But I remember all of them being in the band. And I remember some days they would do Listen, and some days they would do and I can specifically remember this, if I correct that. Fridays at the Magic Q, we would be Opie Tribe. Saturdays at the Tacoma Station, it would be Listen. Added Lawrence and the Three Horn Players.
Okay. So why do you think they want that separation in history, or when they have those conversations? Why do you think it's so important? Do you feel like one legacy overshadows the other, or do you
want my honest opinion?
Welcome to No Gray Area.
I'm gonna give you what I've always thought. Listen is more Scooby. It's more of them. I do think Opie Tribe people think of me first. E first. Okay. E was like the face. Okay. So I do think if he's trying to create and sustain something that has me first, and I'm not necessarily a part or creation of what the singing group was, that could be it.
Okay.
That is an honest assessment. So I can, and once again about Scooby, he's very honest with he
is.
Yeah, he'll just tell you.
Very
You know what
transparent.
I mean? He's very transparent, and we talk a lot. Mm-hmm. This is probably the most we've talked since the 90s. Like we are friends, and I don't want to minimize whatever it is he's trying to accomplish, or because it can look
Correct.
like. It could look like I'm throwing dirt on him. You know, I think sometimes, because you guess what? It may have to come to a point where when this Raheem Devon Crank Crusader thing kick off, I may have to act like I'm a new guy as well.
Facts.
I may have to be like, oh, no, this is this new thing that I'm doing. You know what I mean? Because people will hold on to your old stuff that was not successful.
Especially if they feel like it's something that can hold you back.
But in Scooby defense, every promoter for years told me to get rid of the name. You see my phone going off, right?
I hear it is rocking. You're in trouble.
Yeah, I'm not in no trouble. I'm saying, but I'm just saying, like, I could see now, years going on, why he might want to just say, "Oh, I ain't got nothing to do with that." You know what I mean? But for people who saw it and people who looked at it, you would know. But hey,
so while we on it, no gray area. Why do you think when Listen reunions take place, E is not in the place?
Okay. Did you see the one time I did play?
I did.
That's probably why.
Okay.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I mean, because, you know, one thing about it, I'm going to turn up. And I do think there's still confusion on who did what, you know what I mean? There's a lot of confusion. And let me say this, and I mean this with all sense, because he's my man. Like, this ain't you know what I mean? He has put himself in a great position to be, he deserves everything he get.
Amen.
To me, he is the godson.
Amen.
To me, he stayed the course. He could have took other routes. He had massive opportunities to
leave. And
mind you, I was in the elevator with him with Sylvia Rome. But I just think he's doing a great job to protect his brand and keep himself as the guy. And, you know, and we're going to, you know, I'm the guy. I'm the godson. You know, and when you look at his band name, it's called Scooby, the Serious
Company.
Yeah, so, you know, I think that may have a lot to do with it. You know what I mean? And whether people say this or not, there is no help in go-go. There's no love. You know what I mean? Like, there's nobody pulling nobody up. Like, we can pretend we doing the fake, because I see this a lot in go-go. The fake, I love, we are the world go-go shit that go on. That is not true. There is, I was, you know, I don't know if you know, I help with the beginning of Casey and Black Alley. You know, I was their music director, Omar. We helped put the band together. You know, the first thing I told Casey when I first started developing her, and I said, let me tell you this. There's no love in go-go. So don't, no matter how many people you think is cool with you, you're in go-go, in most stuff, you're only as valuable to people as the opportunity you can provide to them. At this particular time,
relevant as your last big event, successful event,
or how they deem you to be.
Yes.
Now, mind you, you know me, so you know I have a journalism program.
Yes. I
am up for 2 major jobs. I've done 3 major morning shows. I'm cool with Allison Seymour, Donnie, Urban and Fire, but everybody don't look at that as being valuable in a go-go form. Okay. That may be valuable to get kids to college in a professional, you know what I mean? So I just think that we got to realize that, it is every man for itself. You got to kind of pull yourself up. And you can develop your friends and all that, but I see a lot of people, I don't want to say whining, but they think people owe them something.
Oh my gosh.
You know what? And let me say this, no matter what I think I've done, I don't think nobody owes me anything, and I'm not mad at nobody for not giving me no opportunities, because once again, he is my real friend.
This culture is the word I want to use. This culture is one that is filled with people that feel entitled. I don't understand. Like, at this point, like, respectfully, if you got paid for a service, that's all people owe you. It is the mindset that most people have. Like, people don't value the content you create. They don't value the time you take to place. They don't value the foundation that you put in place. Because,
the accomplishments.
Yeah, but they're
the
not. The
accolades.
Yeah, but in this culture, because it is a performance art, it's not one where they're getting residual checks and they're getting
publishing.
Yes,
points on the record, streams,
BMI, ASCAP. They haven't set themselves up to get their algorithms from across the world so that they can understand their real demographic.
Which is why I'm not mad at nobody.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm not mad.
Because they lack the things that are needed in order to set themselves up for success. And I would think that hearing you talk about your journalism program, how you were able to acquire funding, how you're able to get grants, how you're able to successfully push people ahead, I would think that they would want to talk to some of the minds in this culture to understand what a successful business plan is to get you from where you are, which is, for a lot of y'all, $40 shows. Y'all getting paid $40.
But let's be true about something, though. Let's address this elephant in the room.
Let's do it.
Okay. I'm going to be honest with you about something, right? This is the honest God truth. So, you know what I mean? This is a hobby to most people. This ain't no real life. It's just some shit that they do when they get off of work. You know, we don't really practice. You know what I mean? So it's just a hobby, and it's just something that you're doing, you're not going to be thinking about all that type of stuff. You know what I mean? For most people, they're just, you know, we're going to go learn some songs, go learn Beyonce, go learn Trey songs, go learn this, go learn that, and all that. So I think it's a combination of the fact that people don't acknowledge that for a lot of people, it's just something that they do. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? And where you're not in the record business or the record creation business, you ain't thinking about none of that. You know what I mean?
But my thing is, while there are people who have 9-to-5s in this culture, respectfully, there's a group that does not. So it can't just be a hobby. You're investing time that you could be using to do something else.
I don't think people think it could go somewhere as well. Like, just think, if you've never been outside of here, and you've only been here all your life, and this is all you've ever seen.
But that goes back to that local-minded thing that we were talking about earlier.
But we can't be mad if nobody's never been out.
I agree.
So if you've never been out to see how the real world acts and the real record business act, we can't have an expectation of you knowing. And we can't be mad when you just doing it as a hobby, as hard as that sounds. But it's just a real hobby. Like, you know, you got successful bands right now that don't practice.
Yeah, I know.
Like, you know,
I know a couple of them.
Yeah, there's like one big band that just says, go learn it, and we're going to play it. They don't even practice.
Yeah, but they also have a band full of musicians that are actually going to do the things that they need to do.
That's fine.
Now, there are other bands.
But you can't create nothing if you ain't practicing.
I agree.
If my mindset is, we're just going to recreate what we this, then you can only expect so much. And once again, what I respect about that person who leads that band is he's never pretended like he was going to be doing, you know what I mean? But I'm saying is like, you know, what is your expectation? What is it you're actually trying to accomplish? You know what I mean? So, but I'm just saying, like, but it's just a hobby to people. And we need to understand that most people ain't looking at this like it's no real business.
I don't want to pay you for your hobby. I don't want to pay you. I don't want to pay you for your lack of professionalism and your hobby. I'm definitely not paying you right now in a recession when gas costs this much. That just makes absolutely no sense to me.
It sounds like an airplane is flying gas over. It does. So I love that.
So you don't even respect us enough to get into the studio and practice for my hard-earned money. You don't respect me enough?
Well, I'm just giving you my assessment. You know what I mean?
And see, that's horrible to me because I go to so many go-go's. Like, I was having this conversation with somebody before.
Yeah, my phone is rocking.
I know, you're in trouble. I was telling somebody that I know that my tenure in go-go, my stint in go-go, which goes back a very long time, I know that I have helped to put people's kids through college. I've put people in houses. I've watched people pull up in brand new vehicles. Like, I've done all of those things. And if you've gotten to the point of your life where you don't feel like you should have to work for my dollar, then I'm not coming to see you anymore. I'm not telling anybody to go see you.
Yeah, that's you.
No, it's not just me.
Yeah, it's you.
No, you got to come out more often so you can understand that fan bases are falling off.
Oh, I knew. Oh, yeah.
All the way off.
Oh, no, I
not
predicted
even,
it.
And not even just for smaller bands. Because it's gotten to a point where before we would club hop 3 or 4 different clubs in one night. But now it's like, do I want to waste the gas and go to the other 3? Which one's going to give me my certified crank? And that's where I'm going.
Speak on it, my love.
And people don't understand that. Like, right now where the culture is, it's room. It's room. Like, the tournament just proved, it's room for who's next to come. But they got to be hungry and ready and have everything in place.
And be open-minded.
And they
to be
have
open-minded
to be original as well.
But be open-minded to try new ideas, what you guys created. Like, no matter what you thought, people understood and brought into what you guys were trying to accomplish. To say, man, I'm going to try something different today. You know, I don't want to have chicken. I'm going to have filet mignon, and some asparagus today.
But part of the problem with this culture is the definition of insanity is where people live. They do the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result.
That's true too. But the other thing is, you got people being successful doing that, and because it all depends on. Hold on, Kapri. It all depends on what we deem as successful.
That's what I was about to say.
A lot of things,
the
perception of it, because a lot of it is smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
A lot of these big bands, you think of big bands dealing with the same things you go through.
But they just don't do it publicly.
Say it again.
They get paid their actual number because they actually do contracts to
but,
put them in place for some.
But guess what though? Even if they don't get paid the number and they may have it all night, you don't see them going on social media blasting everybody. You know? Yeah, because here's the thing about it. Everybody's gonna have up and down nights or whatever, but it's just how you handle it, and are you open-minded enough to try different things, and so yeah.
Like you have to revamp. Like we're at the point in life where it's revamp time. Like you have to revamp your bands. You have to revamp your bands. You have to revamp your style. You have to revamp the way you promote, because internet flyers are not enough. No disrespect to anybody. I see enough of them to scroll past all of them. It's a lot of ghetto ones out there. It's
they all
not
look
appealing.
The same. Yeah, they're beginning to look.
It's no curb appeal.
Yeah, they're beginning to look the same. Like the one you created with your face on the day, I love. So I think if they put your face on more, that'll help.
I try my best to brand and promote for everybody. If we're on an event, or if you're coming in here, or you've come in, you shopped, I took a picture, I'm definitely gonna post it, not because it's E, but because you came in to support just off the humble.
So it had nothing to do because I was good looking? Okay, continue on.
Here you go. Get Mr. Maurice White, the rebirth.
Thank you. About time you calling me by my real name.
Get yourself together.
Right.
So moving forward, I know you have your business plan in place. The Go-Go Crusaders has every Thursday.
Crank Crusaders.
Hey,
look,
God.
Please
I got to get the name right.
Hey.
I'm so sorry.
Did you get Scooby names? Let me stop.
Let me
stop because
I did. I called them Serious and Company, and it's Serious Company. So don't personalize. Brain everywhere.
Shout out to Stomp Dog, because at practice at Crank Crusaders, about once every 30 minutes he threatens to call Scooby and get me out of the band.
Like, he's gonna get you fired.
Like
that's a true tour. Shout out to the homie.
Hey, like Stomp would do it, and like he'll start singing Scooby hooks in the practice and all that. Like it's actually funny. Like yeah.
That's Larry Belafonte that's singing to you. That's not Stomp. That's Larry Belafonte. Next time he does it, be like, Mr. Belafonte, chill.
This nigga here,
Tell Mr. Belafonte to chill. So with your successful business plan, and you were saying that you already have the blueprint for what it is that you want to unlock. I feel like I have a blueprint.
For
what it is that you want to unlock in the culture. Yeah. You want to unlock. Because I can't speak for what anybody else wants to unlock. If you were to offer some of these up-and-coming bands some advice, what would it be?
Don't be afraid to be creative. If you got an idea, do it. You know what I mean? Like, just run with your ideas. Don't be afraid to try and be creative. And don't feel like you got to be stuck into doing the grown and sexy shooby-dooby we're going to be doing. Don't be afraid. I would say be creative and find creative ways to use the internet. As a guy.
Not messy ways.
Yeah, that too. But just because I teach college and high school students the way they use the internet, the way people consume music, the way people find out about content, be creative as possible on social media. I think you made a great point about flyers. I think people should do more small video presentations of their shows, or have some funny skits or something. I call
them content clips.
Yeah.
Content clips are great.
Yeah. Be creative. Just don't be afraid to be creative, because if you don't, you're going to look up and it's going to be 10 years later. Like, it's crazy how...
Or for some people, 20, and you're still stuck in the same place.
Yeah, but it's crazy because, man, like how my life is now, every day there's a song that I can remember as a kid playing. And like... I remember when Biggie and them first came out, and stuff like, and before you know, you be like, wow, these are on the Magic 102.3 stations now. These on the oldie, but you know what I mean?
But guess what? The young rappers are still recycling their lines in songs.
But the whole point is, it goes quick.
Yes.
It'll be 5 years before you know it. So this is the time to be creative. This is your time. This is your moment. You know what I mean? Because that window of you young and you're being able to create and sustain ain't as big as you think. You know what I mean?
You're going to be like Mike Lowry was on Bad Boys, using that cocoa bean to dye that beard to keep that look up so people won't know you've been at it for 25 years and nothing has moved.
Yeah, like, yeah. So just know that, you know, time ain't always on your side.
Facts.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, we live in this world, and there are ways that you can promote and circulate music, you know, Twitch and so many things. Just be creative as possible, and be creative on the internet. That will be my young advice. You know what I mean? Like, don't be afraid to be creative.
And with that creativity, you know it's going to come someone with an adverse opinion or someone who doesn't agree with what you're doing. Normal. And what's your job?
To keep it moving.
And do what? Don't pay it any mind, right?
Yeah, because but here's the thing: everybody's going to have an opinion.
Facts.
Trust me, everybody's going to have an opinion. But just be creative, know what it is you want to accomplish, and just don't be afraid. You know what I mean? Don't examine your stuff by what the bad people say. You know what I mean? Like or I call them the peanut gallery. Be creative. You know what I mean? I wish, you know, I would have had somebody give me that type of advice. You know what I mean? Because time goes quick, and you can wake up, and it will be 15 years. And then in my case, it'll be 15 years, and the people that you created it with, some of them are no longer here.
Right.
And then the ones that you did create it with are successful, and you can't ride.
Right.
You know what I mean? If I look at it now, like if I would have just been more creative, it would have provided me more opportunities later on down the line.
Because time goes quick, and a person's attention span is short.
Yeah, and you don't got long to lock them in.
Facts.
And be clear. The 20-year-old person should be thinking about the 30-year-old person.
Facts.
Like the 20-year-old person should be thinking about what he wants to accomplish when he's 25 and 26.
He'll be setting goals.
Yeah, I wish I would have really been thinking about that. You know, when you're in the moment and you're figuring it out. So, you know, just it goes quick, and before you know it, you know, because it's a lot I deal with that. Like there are days when I have to turn the radio off of not thinking about Tony Reyes and D Nasty. Like I have to because you know with music and go-go, you're thinking about songs that y'all did together.
Yes.
Well, with Tony Reyes, I have 20 years of that. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm happy about this Raheem Devon Crank who saying this thing. It's going to allow me to create something different, so I don't have all these memories.
You get to create new ones musically.
Yeah, you know what I mean, and get to probably create something for myself, because as you see now, I'm not in the mix of the go-go.
It doesn't belong to anybody.
Yeah,
So, do you think that they need to sit down and write out a business plan, a mission statement?
Absolutely.
Like, can you give them some advice on the business side? Because I scream it and they think I'm crazy.
Well, I just think everybody should understand. It's two things. There's a book called Everything You Need to Learn About the Music Industry. And then you got to remember this, is that Google is your best friend. Don't ever forget that Google is your best friend. And just feel free to make sure you understand publishing or whatever. So if you got any music questions on how to, make sure that you go to Google. If you want to learn how to best way to create content, like, you know, you got iMovie now. You got it's so many things that are really available to you. So just don't be afraid to be creative. Don't be afraid to learn about the business, because it is business. And a wise man once said it's called the music business for a reason, not the music school. So just make sure that no matter what you do, it is. So we got questions here, and I got Kapri's phone, so I'm just gonna be looking at it or whatever. Kapri is a gem, be different. Shout out to everybody on here. James Evan, what up? What up? Shout out to my man Christopher Hamilton. Chris Hamilton is one of my best friends.
Grab the phone, stop talking to me.
First of all, Chris, I love you. Chris Hamilton is one of the most creative keyboard players. You know how you'll meet somebody in the band or later in life, and you become like lifelong friends and brothers. That's what Chris Hamilton is. Chris Hamilton is probably one of the top 3 most creative, talented people I've ever been around in my life.
He's dope. I just got to get him together. We got to have conversations about that spirit. We can't be vibrating low.
Yeah,
no low vibrations.
Yeah, but he's, you know, to know him.
I know.
He's been through a lot.
To love him.
Yeah, but let me tell you something. He's one of the most, as a man.
Yes.
As a man with morals and principles,
yes.
He's one of the best I've ever seen in life in general. And his talent level is at a level that I've never seen before.
Do you think it's appreciated in this culture? Do you think talent is genuinely appreciated in this culture?
Here's the thing, nobody's appreciated in go-go.
And why?
Because it's just...
You think it's a selfish genre?
Yeah, it's a every man for itself. You know, some people are, but, Go like life is what you make it and what you create for yourself. But you cannot be examined to other people's opinion. You know what I mean? Like I see a lot of people in bands be feeling the need to be acknowledged by other bands and why they this and all that. Like, definitely understand that, you can't be doing this.
Facts.
To make, like, other band members don't buy records. Band members ain't fans. Other bands ain't fans. Your job is to engage and create the fans, not to get other band members accolades, because it's never going to come.
And you should never be worried about their show. Your focus should be your show, your music, your product, your crowd.
Speak on it.
I've learned in this culture that a lot of attention is diverted away from self.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand how y'all say that, yeah, it's about me, but you're minding everybody. How can you focus on yourself if your mind is in everybody else's situation?
Yeah, but that's a great point. And just stop feeling the need to be acknowledged and loved by other band members.
But what is the acknowledgement going to do?
Because I guess people feel like they want to be acknowledged by people who they looked up to. I think I've seen that a lot, that people feel like if you don't tell them how great they are, then you hating on me or whatever.
But plenty of people have looked up to Michael Jordan and he doesn't personally acknowledge you and you don't feel like he's hating you.
That's 100%. But let me say this. I've noticed this a lot for people to feel the need to feel like people owe them accolades.
No one owes you anything.
Say it again. You know what I mean? So
you owe it to yourself.
Yeah. But also, that's just a great evaluation of stop feeling the need to be acknowledged. Like, first of all, you should never, if you're basing your success on somebody else's opinion of you, you're going to be in trouble. Because people's opinion will change about you every day.
Multiple times a day.
How about it?
If you do not serve whatever purpose or need that they have.
Absolutely. So that's my other piece of advice. Stop worrying about what other band members think.
So what he just said is their opinion of you is none of your business. That is their business. Those are their feelings. That is their opinion to have. They have the right to feel however they want to.
Right.
It is not your job to correct it or fix it or be concerned about it.
Right.
That's what he said.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, and know that, because you'll save yourself a lot of time and trouble when you stop waiting for accolades from other band members.
But my thing is,
band members don't buy records.
But the accolades are not going to do anything for you because okay, so that's prime example for me. I do look up to Allison. An accolade from Allison is amazing. However, the world is not going to move or stop moving because I don't get an accolade from her. Like, what's meant will be. It will happen when it's meant to happen. You can't force anybody or anything to support you or what you're doing.
Yeah, because this is about you and what you're trying to accomplish as well.
Period.
So, yeah.
Period.
But that is a problem in go-go. I've seen that a lot. People upset because they feel like people not acknowledging them or giving them some props, and that ain't never going to happen in go-go. So understand that ain't never going to happen. You will never be applauded like that. So yeah.
So as far as the music is concerned, can you give them some advice on song structure? Because a lot of them may not understand song structure.
Well, it's two different types of structures you could be talking about. You could talk about the record process, which is trying to figure it out in 3 minutes and 10 seconds. But, structure is just understanding that there's a hook and a chorus. But in go-go, there's a point where you got to engage the crowd and shout out. So I don't always like telling people how to create records. Just understand that there's a process when you do records, which is 3 minutes and 30 seconds tops. Figure out what you're going to do in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. And then at your shows, figure out. But, through the internet and home studios, you can mix it, edit it the way you like.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Once again, don't be afraid to be creative.
Yes, you definitely can. You can actually shoot a track over, have somebody record it, shoot it back to you, mix it down, and master it and make an actual single. So the other thing is weeklies. For bands that don't have a lot of content or a lot of music, do you think that weeklies are good for them, or do you think they should do like a monthly and bi-monthly?
I think weeklies. I think weeklies is good for people. I think weeklies is good for you to, if you're gonna create, weeklies is good. You get to try a bunch of stuff. One of the things that we're about to do with this Ryan Devon thing, why he really wants to do a weekly, is because he wants to try a whole bunch of stuff. And I just think you can use weeklies to see what your audience like, what your audience don't like. Once again, don't get locked into doing a set. Be creative. So I think weeklies are great if you're using it in the right thought, which is being creative. One of the best pieces of advice I've ever got was Chuck Brown, when I had restarted OP Tribe, told me, find one location and stay there and don't move. He gave me the advice to go to Hades on Fridays and don't move. And he said, try every idea that you want. And from there, you'll figure everything out. So I think Wigglies can be good if you're being creative. I do think Wigglies.
But if you're coming in playing the same set every week, do you think it's...
If you coming in playing the same set, you might get bored really quick.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But then again, it varies. The thing about go-go in general is you don't know.
Whichever way the wind blows that day is the way the crowd may go.
You don't know. Sometimes, especially what you're talking about location and gas, if it's a good location, if they got good food, it's a great environment, and you do it right, you can come up on something. You know what I mean? So you just never know. But find out what it is you want to accomplish when you're there. What is it you want to get out of this? So that's what I always say.
So for the bands that are up and coming that feel the need to do everything in front of the world on social media, what type of outlet or what type of plan B would you think that you, as in, I'm going to call you an OG.
I appreciate it.
What type of advice would you give them? Because we've become the era of everything has to be done on social media in their mind.
Let me tell you why I think Backyard is probably the most effective band ever.
I've heard this 17 times today.
No, but
literally.
Yeah, but here's the thing. So I was with him before they were, Here's the thing about a lot of that. I was with Ging before he became the icon. I was around Backyard before they became this iconic band. I was with Backyard when nobody thought it was going to work. When it was Backyard versus, it was Uptown DC versus everybody. It was, at that particular time, it was me and Ging, Uptown, we not from Southeast, we not from, versus everybody. One thing Backyard did that I say people don't realize is they roll like a gang.
They do.
They're like a gang if you look at it. We keep everything in house, everything ain't for everybody. They had rules, and I don't want to be telling their rules, but I will say this. They had a rule when they first started that I thought was really that Ging. I think Ging don't get the credit on his leadership of men, being a leader of men. They had some rules. If you saw somebody talking to a girl, you don't go behind them and talk to her.
Facts. That should still be a rule to this very day.
No. But that was like instituted over there. Like, don't do that. If you know, like as small as that may seem, that's also as big.
It's been the demise of a couple of bands, so
big bands. I'm sorry, big bands.
It has.
Backyard roll like a gang. They probably go through everything everybody else go through, but you're just not going to hear about it. And understand the need of sticking together as an organization. You're only as weak as your weak link who keep talking. If you got a weak link, address it. You know what I mean? And everybody got to be on the same page on what the vision is.
Right.
And I think what Ging do not get credit for, whether you think he deserves this credit or not, is the fact that however he did it, he was able to keep people together as a family through all these trials and tribulations, through all these issues. He still keep them on the same page, and you still don't hear people talking about stuff.
Facts.
Even when it comes to Coop not being there.
Facts.
You ain't heard, you may hear, but you don't, you know what I mean? Even the way they handle that, you know what I mean? And then they still showed up for top 5 for, you know what I mean? So just know the importance of keeping your stuff in-house and rolling, because the demise of you making $1 million a year in the DMV is whether you can keep your mouth shut and y'all can roll as an organization like a gang. That's why Backyard is where they at. That's why they're making endless money.
Let's speak of organization and gangs. And organizations and gangs, there are hierarchies. There are people who have
know your role,
and there's a management team that is in place there. They have a machine that pushes them.
Let me say this: management is one thing, but the foundation was built. No, hold on. Let me say it. I understand. First of all, I'm not disputing what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, no matter who came in to manage, that foundation and structure was already there.
But that's what I was getting ready to say.
These guidelines and rules were here for you to come in to be a manager.
And that's why I'm saying, like, once you step in, the organization is already in place.
It's already
there.
You know what I mean?
And I feel like a lot of these bands are struggling because they don't have those things in place. And then you bring a manager on board or someone you want to manage or assist, and they're dealing with more of the personal issues than the business part. When a manager for a band is there to manage business.
Yeah, but let me say this: in any managerial situation, eventually the person was going to bleed in. So
no, the bleeding takes place, but the business has to be handled.
No, I got you, but let me say this: but it also goes to show you if you got structure and an understanding, then you kind of know what that is. A lot of people that do management at some point, you're probably going to have to deal.
Yeah.
Or understand there's going to be some personal things. This person maybe it's how you handle it. But with Backyard, and I think Ging deserve credit for him as a leader, is the foundation that they laid down that has sustained them. Yeah. There were people that probably could have been where they were at, probably should have been where they were at. You know what I mean? And because Ging addresses stuff as a man, and it's kind of noted, you don't run your mouth outside of here. That's been the key. And I hope out of anything that you could get from Backyard, I hope people could learn that. You know what I mean? They roll like a gang. I've been cool with Bucky and everybody in that band since some of them since 80s, but early 90s. I've never heard them talk about nobody in that band. And I know they had issues, but I've still never heard them talk. And I'm over their houses and they ain't never talked about it. Like, I know this. Nobody has never discussed with me about their feelings about whatever happened with Coop.
Yes, it's the 3 degrees of separation.
Yeah. Guess what? They ain't even talked about it. Mm-hmm. That's the difference of you being able to sustain yourself for 30 years. You know what I mean? Keep your business in house. Everybody's gonna have it. It's just like a family. If you got a family, I got a family. Trust me, I got people that I'm related to that people don't even know I'm related to.
Facts.
No,
for me too. Facts.
Hold on. They have no idea that I'm related to a few people. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That they think we just, no, I'm actually related to a few people. You know what I mean? So yeah. So I'm just saying, just learn how to keep it in house, because that's what's gonna be able to sustain you. I'm sorry for talking long.
No, you're good. So give them some. We've talked about the business part. Help them to get a business foundation. They need a vision. They need a mission, a mission statement. What other things do you feel like they would need in place in order to have a successful foundation? 2
things I think people should do. You should Google local publicists and entertainment lawyer. Because of the internet and the way music and the way these streaming sites are, you would do yourself a favor if you found a good low budget entertainment lawyer who knew the basics. And an entertainment lawyer also has relationships in the entertainment. So I would say get you a music lawyer and find you a publicist. And just think about that. Shout out to Fairley, for people who know Fairley, who's one of the most successful publicists, born and raised in DC. You know what I mean? If you know, she got a baby by somebody in the band and all that. But yeah, I would say those two. Don't be afraid to get some representation. You know what I mean? One of my greatest, I'll tell you a go-go story that really, it taught me something when they were closing go-go clubs down. This was Marion Barry's last year being mayor. We had a big meeting at Marion Barry's office. So it's everybody, Backyard, Junkyard, Northeast, Essence, every band you could think of. Marion Barry comes in the room and he's eating chicken, and then the publicist and the chief of police was in there. And they asked everybody to introduce themselves. And White Boy walked in with a lawyer. And White Boy, when they went to White Boy pointed to his lawyer, and his lawyer says, "How you doing? I am Attorney Blase. I have my papers of the venues that we're playing at and the contracts that we have, and I'll be doing all the speaking for White Boy Andre Johnson, because obviously this is a
legal matter. This
is a legal government matter and not just no personal And everybody was looking like, what is he? But that to me was
boss move.
Yeah, because we were in the government form. Just because you had me in here don't mean it wasn't business to you. And that let me know the importance of having legal representation. But I'm going to tell you what else it did. So they did all that. And then it was over. They pulled White Boy and them to the side. So why you think they did that?
Because they need to understand why you felt the need to have a lawyer, and they need
that wasn't
and you got your venue dates.
That wasn't it. You know why?
Why?
Because they knew them niggas was about business.
That's what I'm saying. You got your venue dates.
And they knew they wouldn't like the rest of us.
So does that bring it back to the importance of a contract?
Hold on. First of all, 100%. But let me tell you the point let me say what I got from it. They were assessing us, whether we thought they were or not. What they assessed was, y'all just ran away, uneducated. But this man came in on some business stuff or whatever. So we need to deal with him differently. So when they moved him to the side, it was because, to me, he ain't like the rest of them niggas over there. You know what I mean?
He's good. He got somebody to represent him, so we got to handle him accordingly.
Yeah, we got to handle him because we don't know what could come back legally. Mm-hmm. We didn't understand no legal government ramifications that could happen. And I was like, damn, like, that let me know that this was some big. And we just thought, the mayor's going to be meeting here with us. Second time, my other go-go story was Anthony Williams had been here for 4 years. I know I've said this story a few times. I said it at the Kennedy Center thing we was doing, and everybody got mad at me and all that. Because, Lord knows you can't be intelligent, articulate, and have a good memory. Anthony Williams had been here 4 years. There was a government budget form, DC Arts Commission at that time, $9 million a year. Nobody in go-go got it. Cato asked him a question at the mayor budget forum. So how much money are you going to give to go-go music? And he says, what is go-go music?
Wow.
He didn't even know what go-go music was. Please Google this. Anthony Williams didn't know what go-go was. Lord God bless her, Cora Masters Bailey went off.
I love her.
Oh my gosh, she went off on him or whatever. Her. And so we ended up having a meeting, and this was like a month later. Once again, everybody come in, white boy brings his lawyer. Novius Groovers this time had a lawyer. Anthony Williams goes to me and Scooby and says, go-go music. Hey, let me ask y'all a question. And Scooby's like, what? So LL Cool J is go-go music, right? And that lets you know they ain't know the importance of it. It wasn't on their radar.
It wasn't.
These millions of dollars. But once again, guess who they actually respected? The people that had the lawyers. And that let me know then, this ain't just no around the way stuff no more. So just know the importance of as you move up, the importance of having legal representation and having a publicist that has access to the media that can bring you on no matter what it is you're doing. You know what I mean? So
I think the publicist part is huge. I feel like a lot of people in this culture should have someone else to run their social media and not them.
Social media is one thing, and I agree with that.
Yes.
But understand the value of a publicist.
Yes.
Technically, we got one lingering around here, but everybody not taking her as serious as, you know what I mean?
They should.
You know what I mean? They should. And we probably know who we talking about, but we're going to go ahead. You know what? Shout out to Jill.
Mm-hmm.
Greenlee. Jill has worked with major publications on behalf of it, and if anything else, she can get you access to the media. So when you do close these club downs and they say you're bad, she can say no. Let me show you what Big G is doing. Big G is in the community. Yes. Bootsy Vegas has this amazing program. So I'm just saying, like, we do need to understand the importance of, as you move and climb, you know what I mean, as you're accumulating all this money, or if the government agencies are coming to you to do videos to take COVID tests or take a shot, then you know you're now in a different tax bracket, or if you have the ability to sway public opinion or public vote.
You're in a different tax bracket.
And you're looked upon different. Mm-hmm. Because we looked at white boy like, why can't you just tell him who you is? Mm-hmm. And white boy was like, nah.
I pay my lawyer to take care of that. Mm-hmm. That is my lawyer's job.
But homie.
And he is my representation.
But homie, when it was over, him, Brady, and that lawyer and the mayor's permit, they went in the next room.
Stepped off, yes.
They stepped off. I still to this day don't know what they talking about.
You're never going to know.
Exactly.
That's his lawyer's job.
Legal representation.
Mm-hmm. So legal representation, publicist, and what else? Originality.
Network.
Okay.
I think the most unutilized thing that we have here is you could slide in somebody's DM. If any rapper or successful person like your post, you should slide in his DM and see if they'll do a song with you. Let's not underestimate the ability of networking.
The worst they can say is no.
Yeah, but guess what? You definitely have value or whatever.
Yeah, the worst he can say is no. So, y'all, if we take anything from this interview...
Hold on, it's over?
It's 9 o'clock.
Oh, damn.
It's 9 o'clock.
It's 8:53. Hey, hold on. Don't you got some questions on here? Ask a few more of your questions. Come on.
You gonna keep going? No, I need this time right now for you to plug yourself and all the projects that you're a part of. So when people catch this, they can know where to find E.
Crank Crusaders. We do have an IG page, Ryan Devon and Crank Crusaders. Brand new album coming out. We will be doing it every Thursday spot. I can announce it in 2 weeks. I'll know tomorrow, actually.
I'll be waiting for a call.
Yeah, I have that. But man, congratulations on everything that you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Man, I'm really proud of you. I have become a huge fan. You're becoming must listen to. Go. I wish I could tell you this without him putting the radio on. But let me say this: no matter what, no matter what nobody tell you, you know what I mean. You are necessary. People may not agree with it, but I think what you're doing has been needed. You're having the uncomfortable conversations. At the end of the day, if they don't like the uncomfortable conversations, you can either take it or just turn it off. But you're really necessary. What you're doing really is amazing. It's not by accident. You are having this success. And congratulations to Montu, who, and you know, I know him. Let me say this: he took a beating for some years. He took a lot of disrespect.
Yes. He
took a lot of beating. He was not appreciated.
Yes.
But he is a visionary, and none of this that he has accumulated now, this success.
None of it is by chance.
It's not by accident. I already told him it was going to happen. That's why I was always like, "Hey, let me bring you over here. Let me bring you over this." But also, congratulations on creating a platform in the March Madness. That was creative, and it goes to show you that when you think outside the box, amazing things can happen, and you guys are necessary. And let me just give you this piece of advice here as we end up. You won't get cheered.
I'm okay with that.
No, I'm saying, Jen, I know you are, but let me say this: you're not going to be applauded. You're not going to be cheered. You're not going to give no award, but you have served a real purpose, and the real mark of what you're doing when you're in the right direction is, do you leave it in a better condition than what you found it?
And that's my goal.
Y'all are doing some things, 3 things y'all doing. For the first time, y'all have created a real legitimate clothing line, an urban brand that is unapologetically go-go in DC. Everybody else should have did it, but they didn't. Y'all did it. Y'all now created a platform for people to have these discussions, and you're highlighting people who would never have a platform. So congratulations on everything that you and Montu is doing. You are well-deserving. You will not be applauded. So please don't look for
my applause.
Yeah, but because I know some days, and let me tell you this as well. As you move forward, both of y'all, don't feel the need to respond to the peanut gallery. I don't. Yeah, as you grow, just know what you're going to respond to and what you're doing your job. You're providing your service, and that's it. But congratulations.
Oh, you saw my day.
Oh, that's funny. Congratulations to you though, because I really enjoy what you do.
Thank you.
I'm actually a fan.
I'm growing and I'm learning, and I will tell you this. I don't have the time, effort, or energy to respond. You want to know why? Because then that means I'm lending my clout to you, and my clout is expensive. Y'all can't afford my clout by the hour. Y'all can't. We've been grinding over here and working hard. Shout out to everybody. First of all, thank you for stepping into No Gray Area and sharing your transparency, your love, and your light with us. Also, your history of the culture, because you are a historian.
I like that.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
Because
thank you for having me.
Maybe next month somebody might, I want to see the Crank Crusaders. They're playing.
Right.
Catch this interview, get a backstory, and now you have a new fan. Like, the purpose of this is to put y'all in front of an audience that you may not be put in front of.
Right.
Touch everything you touch. You got to make it better on the other side.
Right.
So that's the goal. Definitely shout out to Mitchcraft. www.crankrock.com, or you can meet us in store, 9244 East Hampton Drive, Capitol Heights, Maryland, Suite 201. We are open Wednesday through Sunday, 12 p.m. Slide on in, get you some slide away here, there, and everywhere. 24/7, 365 on our website. Make sure you guys are tapped in, tuned in to all of the newest drops and all things Mitchcraft. Also, y'all stay tuned. New flyer for the next episode coming soon. Y'all can inbox me, let me know who y'all want to see. And don't forget, I have my top 5s coming in for some of our this or that in the culture.
Oh, wow.
It's your girl, Kapri, Monique, the voice of the people.
Rest in peace, Terry.
Definitely. All
Rest
day.
in peace, Terry, man.
All day, Superman. Listen, y'all make sure y'all play this back and tell a friend to step on in. Shout out to the homie E, the Crank Crusaders. Follow each and everything that they are doing. Oh, he's over here dancing, y'all. Follow each and everything that they're doing, and make sure y'all make it in store here to check out Monts.
Young Marvin's White the Rebirth.
I don't have time. So get him. We'll see y'all next week.
I kept it light too.
Get